Hello everyone, this is part 23 of What If Naruto Traveled Back in Time and Changed, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. After 1 week on honeymooning in the land of hot water, the foursome returned to the Senju compound in Wave via Haration. With 1 week left during the trip, the group offered tearful goodbyes to Gaara, who was returning to Sunagakure with Raza and Kankuro. He was ready to become the true protector of Suna and the absolute defense of Wind Country. The group also gave heartfelt goodbyes to Yosuke, Himawari, Shizune and York. They were going to stay in Wave Country and protect the Senju's second home. Naruto also had to say goodbye to his parents at this point. Kami let them extend their stay so that they could spend time with the grandchildren while Naruto was honeymooning with his wives. In Kushina's mind, this was the best way to spend their vacation to the mortal realm. To Minato, it was amazing to check up on Naruto's notes and Fuinjutsu projects. He had nothing left to teach his son and he knew his son was more than ready for the challenges to come. When the foursome returned from the land of hot water, they had one full day and night dedicated to hanging out with Minato and Kushina. They went for a family outing to the beach and spent the day in the sun and ocean water. Once the kids were put to bed, Naruto flashed Minato and Kushina to Nuizu and showed them some of the renovations he had made and his future plans for the island. It was a surreal experience for Naruto, and it was after this day that he closed his eyes and offered a prayer of forgiveness and reconciliation to Kami. As Kami summoned Minato and Kushina back to her realm, she appeared to Naruto and placed a tender K on his forehead. For reasons unknown, as soon as Naruto offered his prayer of forgiveness, Kami snapped out of her depression. Her realm lit up with its normal glow and Kami's pursed lips returned to her usual smile. It was truly confounding for the goddess, and it warranted further exploration. Kami was glad that her chosen enjoyed her gift and she welcomed back her assistants with open arms. For various reasons, the Senju family was splitting up for the foreseeable future. Shizune was pregnant with York's child, and she was excited to take over as the head of Senju Memorial Hospital. Tsunade was more than confident in her abilities, and she believed it was time for Shizune to step out on her own. Plus, they could be there in a flash anytime they wanted to visit, so it was no big deal. Yosuke, in his new, independent, blood clone body, was excited to stay in Wave with Himawari and Haku. He was going to take over as the head trainer for Wave and he would be the number one when it came to Wave's defense force. He wasn't as strong as Naruto, but the blood clone body let him utilize his experience and skills at nearly 50% of Naruto's, which still made him a total monster. He also had access to Sage Mode and Mokuton, so the whole Senju family felt that Wave was in good hands when they left. Naruto, Samui, Temari, Ino, Hinata, Tsunade, Anko, Rias and Yami walked out of the teleportation building next to the Hokage Tower and took in Konoha for the first time in 3 years. Truth be told, the village hadn't changed all that much, but it was good to be home. They were greeted by Itachi and the clan council, which meant that a council meeting was ahead of them. Thus, the Konoha Senjus walked into the council room side by side and got their first peek at the new Konoha council. As they walked in, Naruto smiled as Tsuki waved, Madame Shijimi winked, and the clan heads all dipped their heads to Naruto. Tsunade went and claimed her seat at the clan heads table and the others took a seat in chairs Naruto made for the meeting to begin. After everyone was settled, Itachi began the meeting. Welcome back to Konoha, Senju clan. There are a couple items that need to be discussed as you return to Konoha. First and foremost, Itachi and the whole council stood up and bowed to a stunned Senju clan. Let us apologize for your treatment after the invasion. You did much to help us survive that attack and your treatment was unjust and undeserved. We hope that we can move past it and look forward to a prosperous future. The whole Senju clan stood, and it was Naruto that spoke for them. Please raise your heads. The people in this room have no need to bow to me or my family. As the council raised their heads, Naruto led the Senju family in returning the bows. I apologize for my combative conduct. During my meditation, I realized that I was bearing unjust grudges against Konoha as a whole for the actions of a few. I too wish to leave the past where it lay and move forward looking toward the future. Itachi beamed a rare smile at Naruto. That sounds wonderful. Now, I see that you have let out your alters for the meeting, but we seem to be missing one and a Senju as well. Naruto stepped forward and addressed the council with pride. Council of Konoha, Rias, Yosuke, Hikari and Yami are no longer alternate personalities of mine. During my growth at the Sage's Temple, I found a way for them to separate from me. They are no longer bound to me, and they are free to live lives of their own. I understand that this is confusing, but for the sake of legalities and our time in Konoha, they are their own unique individuals. This statement left the council stunned and the Senju family simply smiled at the Konoha council until they recovered. Finally, after minutes of looking at frozen faces, Inoki stood to his feet with the stunned look fixed upon his face. He asked a simple question with a complicated answer. How is this possible, Naruto? Naruto chuckled sheepishly. Anbu, please don't freak out. I am going to demonstrate something for the council that will aid in my explanation. After saying this, Naruto closed his eyes and clapped his hands in prayer. In less than 3 seconds, his golden sage markings appeared and he showed off his golden eyes to the council for the first time. Then, 4 Magatama appeared on his jacket and the tree of Yggdrasil appeared in the center of the Magatama. The power he radiated was powerful, all-encompassing and protective, which left the council with jaws on the table. I came to peace with myself, the first domain of nature. When I did this, I realized that I was holding on to the past and the baggage of the past was holding me back from reaching my full potential. When I made peace with myself, it made it possible for me to make peace with others and I came to understand the human domain of nature. This allows me to understand everyone, and it allows me to convey my true feelings to them. During my training at the temple, I mastered my connection to the domain of the sky. The power of the winds and the energy they carry falls under this domain. When I went to the temple, I had already mastered the domain of the earth, which bears plants and all smaller forms of life. Long story short, through my studies I am more than capable of granting my alternate personalities their freedom. As Naruto was speaking, his natural energy connected with each counselor, clan head, Itachi and Hiruzen Sarutobi. They all knew instinctively that he was telling the truth and they had varied reactions to this. The clan heads were in awe of such a power, the civilians were inspired, Madame Shijimi was proud of her husband's partnership with the boy, Itachi was glad to have Naruto back and whole and Hiruzen was hopeful that forgiveness was within reach before he passed on to the pure world. The Senju family just basked in the aura created by Naruto and Kurama, Kokuo and Chome purred, clicked in contentedness within their seals. Itachi coughed to snap himself out of the trance the natural energy called him into. That is most impressive, Naruto. Let me be the first to welcome Rias, Hikari and Yami Senju as full members of Konoha. Tsunade smiled regally at Naruto before she turned to Itachi. On behalf of the Senju clan, we thank you for your understanding. Council of Konoha, I also have something that I need to share with you. You may each know Kurama Senju. What most of you don't know is that he is the Kyuubi no Kitsune. He is my soul-bound partner and he has sworn to partner with me to lead the shinobi world into a new cycle of peace. Today, I introduce you to Kurama, son of Hagoromo Otsutsuki, Kyuubi no Kitsune and acknowledged leader of the Biju. Naruto formed a wood clone and pumped 8 tails of Kurama's chakra into it. Kurama appeared in the Konoha Council chambers and bowed to the Konoha Council. People of Konoha, I too wish to reconcile the past. As a part of this, I have asked Naruto to share a memory with you that I shared with him when he was still a child. This is the truth of what happened when I was subjugated by Madara Uchiha and the truth of what happened on the night I attacked Konoha. Naruto bowed again and sent out a peaceful aura. Please trust me. I am going to share a vision of the events. I warn you that they are not pleasant, but this is required to understand what happened so that we may lay it to rest. Itachi nodded hesitantly. Very well, Naruto, you may proceed. For the next half hour, Naruto's chakra showed the Konoha what happened on those 2 destined nights and in between. Naruto showed Kurama's treatment within the seal, and it let them experience the feelings rage, betrayal and even hate those humans caused. Toward the end of the vision, Naruto added in the feelings of reconciliation and peace that Kurama experienced through Naruto. It was a wild journey for the Konoha Council, and it was a lot for them to wrap their heads around. Madam Shijimi stepped up to the plate to kick off the new conversation. Kurama, thank you for trusting us with that information. While I knew your true Idini, I never understood you with such clarity. Kurama smiled at the portly lady. You are most welcome, madam. I am grateful for all of the assistance you and your husband have provided. While Madam Shijimi was beaming at Kurama, Mikoto stood and addressed the council. Council of Konoha, the truth is that the Uchiha clan knew about the traitorous Uchiha from the neighborhood watch. We harbor no ill will towards Kurama, and we wish to continue our partnership with the Senju clan. Naruto locked eyes with Tsunade when neighborhood watch was mentioned, and he laughed internally at her carefree shrug. Deciding to just air everything, he spoke once more. Yes, after helping the Hyuga clan, I helped the Uchiha clan. It was my spy network that alerted the Hokage about Orochimaru's intentions. I apologize that we missed Iwa's involvement, they kept that under wraps. Gobsmackage. The whole Konoha council, okay, except for Mikoto, Hiashi, Itachi and Madam Shijimi, were completely and totally gobsmacked. This was harder for them to swallow than the QB turning into a good guy. Hell, this was probably more surprising than Naruto being stronger than Hashirama. Finally, Shikaku's mind kick-started, and he stood up and slammed him hands onto the table. How? No way. You troublesome blonde, your troublesome clan, you're troublesome. Gah. Shikaku lost it. It was an extremely rare sight, but it should be mentioned that Shikaku was assigned the task of identifying the neighborhood watch. Naruto chuckled and scratched the back of his neck sheepishly. Ha, yeah. Well, the thing is it all started from my dad's seal and Kurama's advice. Then, well, I made a bunch of money and decided to make the world a better place. So, yeah. At that point, the whole council turned their attention to Hiruzen Sarutobi, who was repeatedly smacking his head into the wall and muttering multiple self-deprecating phrases. It all made so much sense to him now, and it was honestly embarrassing for him not to have noticed it sooner. The familiar notes, the way Mastermind called him old man, and many other clues that should have pointed him toward Naruto all clicked into place. Shikaku mirrored Hiruzen, except he only slammed his head on the table once and clocked out of the meeting. He was just done with this BS. Finally, Hiruzen recovered from his self-imposed beating and turned a glare onto Naruto. Done with helping other nations, my rear. He grumbled. Naruto shrugged. Hey, we are all enlisted to our secrets. Truth is, Mei Terumi, Raza no Subaku, I and a couple other important people knew who I was. I simply decided to put my skills and resources to use. How did you know all of that information? It seems impossible, even for a skilled spy. Shikaku's curiosity got the best of him, and he decided to re-engage. Naruto beckoned him forward with a sly look on his face. Shikaku looked around, got a nod from Itachi and slowly walked up to Naruto. He leaned his head to Naruto's mouth and promptly fell on his face when Naruto said, "It's a secret." While the rest of the council was wondering what Naruto said and why he was laughing so hard, Itachi coughed and resented the attention onto himself. Okay, well, today has been full of unplanned revelations. The items we needed to address were your promotion test, which was waived in lieu of your fight with the fourth Raikage, and future sealing contracts. Naruto ceased his laughter and adopted a more professional attitude. You want to promote me? Itachi ed an eyebrow at him. Ruto, you and your training group completed a total of 90 C rank or above missions while on your trip. That is not even counting your sealing contracts or the extra work you did renovating the places you visited. Naruto nodded his understanding. For your outstanding work in the field, Naruto Senju, you are hereby promoted to Jonin. Temari Senju, for your work in the field and demonstrated battle prowess, you are hereby promoted to Jonin. Ino Yamanaka, pending a Jonin exam, you are hereby promoted to Tokubutsu Jonin as a full doctor by Tsunade Senju. Hinata Hyuga, by recommendation of your master, you are hereby promoted to Tokubutsu Jonin as a combat medic. After collecting and promptly sealing their Jonin vests, everyone bowed to the council as they applauded the group. After a heartwarming hug from Inoki and Hiashi, the conversation continued. Once again, Itachi led. Naruto, we have compiled a list of sealing jobs for you. We also request your input in adjusting the academy curriculum to more properly mirror your study group. Each member of your study group has excelled and reached the rank of Jonin or Tokubutsu Jonin. Naruto nodded as a prideful smile filled his face. Very well, Lord Hokage, I accept. I also plan to pay an old debt I promised Lord Third. I will allow publication of Uzumaki clan Fuinjutsu levels 1 through 6 by Konoha to be used as the village sees fit. This will be 1 level more than I have given to Suna and 2 levels more than Kumo or Kiri. Chooser Akamaki spoke up. We are grateful for that, Ruto, but why would you give up your clan's knowledge so freely? Naruto sighed. Chooser, do you know how tiring it is creating 500 shadow clones a day to simply create all the tags I need for my businesses? I want to train my future workforce. Plus, all of the big jobs will require the expertise of the Senju Uzumaki clan. Not to mention, Fuinjutsu is hard and it will take time for people to learn it. I have now given them proper motivation to learn the skill and I would appreciate a couple more seal masters to help make the world a better place. Hiashi nodded. That makes sense. Tell me, Naruto, any life-changing seals since the teleportation tower? Rias giggled. Just wait and see, Lord Hyuga. We have prepared presents for every clan in Konoha. Madame Shijimi pouted. Just the clans. Naruto let out a full-bellied laugh. Don't worry, Madame Shijimi. I have completed the project you requested. Everyone looked between the two and Hiruzen asked, what project? Naruto unsealed a tablet and handed it to the First Lady of the Land of Fire. He keyed her chakra signature to it and walked outside the council chamber. The tablet started buzzing and blinking and Shijimi clicked the button on the front. She then gasped as Naruto's face greeted her and he waved to her. The whole council gasped when they heard Naruto's voice come in loud and clear. This is a tablet that lets users talk face to face, and it isn't limited to one chakra signature. I have assigned numbers to each tablet, and they can call and interface with one another. I partnered with Mabui of Kumo on this invention and we are still working to iron out some kinks. Yarna. The tablet went blank and the whole council was stunned once again. As the council doors opened, heads turned mechanically towards Naruto, which made him burst out in a fit of laughter. I am telling you guys, you really should see your faces right now. PWA haha. Naruto laughed merrily as the Senju clan just let him have his moment. Shikaku sighed. Once again, I am inclined to ask how. Also, how much range do they have? Naruto was still laughing, so Rias answered, anywhere in the elemental nations. They operate on spacetime Fuinjutsu and quite a few other seals. They are an absolute nightmare to make, and we can only make a limited number of them at this time. Shijimi was clutching her tablet to her chest like it was the most precious thing in the world. Thank you, Lord Senju. Does Kenji-kun already have his? Naruto nodded with an understanding smile on his face. Yes, his number is 112. You click the camera icon on the main screen then put in the number. Hiashi coughed. And how much do these tablets cost? Tsunade spoke on behalf of her clan. Unfortunately, they are quite intricate. They are also made of chakra metal. Right now, tablets are starting at $5,000. If we come up with a way to mass produce them, then the price will be far cheaper. Naruto took over. Look, there is a lot we could share, but I wanted to run something by the council, and I think the Uchihas would like it. Itachi nodded and Mikoto's eyes glowed. With my new sensory abilities, I propose we do a full clear of the land of rice paddies. I will be able to sense Orochimaru, Sasuke Uchiha and other shinobi in the nation. Mikoto immediately stood to her feet, and she was fighting hard to hold the tears at bay. Please, 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 everyone, sniffle, please. If there is any hope, please. Itachi moved over and comforted his mother while eyeing Naruto. Explain, was his one-word command. Naruto nodded sympathetically. Look, being honest, my range when I concentrate is about 150 miles. I propose an elite team enters the land of rice paddies and clears out Orochimaru's bases one by one. My network tells me that Orochimaru will be changing bodies in the next 3 months, which makes that our window. I do not know if Sasuke was willing or ready to become Orochimaru's vessel, but intelligence told me that he switched bodies after the Chunin exams. Give me my friends, my family and a couple Anbu teams, and we will rip Orochimaru out by the roots. Everyone looked pensive at Naruto's proposition. It would be a win for Konoha if they succeed and it would be a major win for the Uchiha clan to get their lost member back. Itachi finally spoke. When could we do this? Naruto shrugged. Look, Jiraiya is looking for Otogakure right now. He should be back in a week. Let's see if he finds anything and mobilize the teams in the meantime. Itachi nodded. Very well, I will put this to Revo. At that moment, all members of the council and the whole training group raised their hands in support. Itachi smiled gratefully at the room. Very well, the mission is approved. Naruto Senju, you are tasked with leading a team to find and kill the traitor Orochimaru. Your secondary objective will be recovering Sasuke Uchiha. Your tertiary objective will be recovering any prisoners held by Orochimaru and recovering any usable intelligence he may hold. I accept, Naruto said. Sume spoke up here, can you really take the snake traitor, pup? Naruto smirked devilishly, easily, but that honor will be reserved for Mama and my grandfather. Hiruzen looked with pleading eyes at Naruto. Naruto, I wish to come with you. Naruto held up his hand. No, Lord Sarutobi, I understand why you ask, but personal guilt and grudges should be left on the sideline for any shinobi. Furthermore, I heard your chakra system was heavily damaged after the invasion. He is right, sensei. Sit this one out and let your students hash it out. Tsunade chimed in. Hiruzen sighed tiredly. Very well. If you can bring him in alive, I would appreciate the opportunity to talk to my old student. Naruto internally balked at that. No way was he going to hold back against the snake. Lord Third, you know how slippery he is and how much harder it is to incapacitate than it is to kill. As mission leader, I unequivocally decline your request. If you want to talk to him that bad, then I will summon him with the Edo Tensei after we kill him. The council gasped at that. Itachi spoke, you will do no such thing. We will not sacrifice a living being for such a thing. Naruto shrugged, it's just a wood clone. I altered the jutsu and came up with countermeasures in case we encounter it again. Hiruzen looked appreciatively at Naruto. If it is possible, then I would appreciate the opportunity. Itachi resigned himself to the back seat. He had a feeling this would be a common occurrence going forward. Let's just deal with completing the mission first. This has been a long meeting. We will let the Senju family get settled in. Tomorrow, you can gather your desired team and prepare for the invasion of Otogakure. Naruto nodded sympathetically. I understand. Finally, because it would put undue stress on my family to hide such information, I am requesting that every member on this council sign an Uzumaki blood contract. Once done, I will reveal some sensitive information to this council. Inoiki perked up and panicked a bit, which was noticed by Chooser and Shikaku. Chooser spoke first, you haven't shared enough sensitive information already. Itachi nodded. Ruto, he is right. I trust this council and our enemies are at least aware of one already and they know that Samui there, well yeah. Quote exclamation mark quote. Naruto hissed before recomposing himself. Well fine, I have 2 kids and they will be living with us at the Senju compound. If you share this information with anyone, I promise you that I will make you regret it. Anko's kid is also a true Senju. So, around and find out, if you dare. Naruto's flared into KSM and put everyone on edge as this aura carried just as much power as GSM and a lot more menace. We understand, Naruto. We do. Itachi comforted him. The death penalty will be applied to anyone that discloses this information. It is A.S. rank secret and I trust my counsel. Inoiki stood up and bowed. Please, for the sake of my daughter and her family, please hold this information close. I do not want a repeat of the wave incident. Chooser clapped Inoiki on the shoulder. Do not worry, my friend. We stand behind you and the Senju clan. Chooser's merry words got head nods from every member of the council. Naruto beamed a smile as the genjutsu hiding the children fell. Then, let me introduce you to Kushina Uzumaki Senju, Hashi Senju Uzumaki and Arasha Senju Uzumaki. Mikoto squealed and ran up to Kushina, and Sume followed shortly after. Hiashi stood and walked toward Naruto. Why is Kushina Uzumaki first? Rias spoke up, because somebody has to rebuild the Uzumaki clan and she is the only redhead. After everyone got acquainted with the children, Naruto bowed to the council. I thank everyone for my first pleasant experience with the Konoha Council. I think I like the reforms that were put in place. Reunion and a call to arms. It didn't take long for word to spread about the return of the Senju clan. It seemed like the village had moved past their fear and mistrust, for the most part. The family was greeted by nearly everyone in the streets as they made the walk back to the Senju compound. Their eyes didn't hold the subdued fear, nor did they let their fear rule them. It took 2 hours, a visit to Ichiraku's, and a lot of fanfare for the Senju clan to return to their compound. Thus, everyone was more than ready to settle in for an early night. After feeding the babies and putting them down, everyone gathered in the Senju gardens, which were still healthy as ever. Soon it kicked off the powwow with a cheers and a shot. To the Senju clan being reborn and better than ever. She toasted. To the Senju clan. Everyone cheered before downing their shots. Soon it refilled, and so did everyone else. Look, everyone, my heart is so full of joy it hurts. Moving forward, there will be a lot of obstacles for us to overcome. Just remember, so long as we are family, family comes before all. Sunad raised her shot glass. Family before all. Everyone cheered and downed another shot. Sunad took a seat and cuddled into Kurama. She smirked when she saw Temari, Samui and Ino each cuddling into a Naruto, or a clone of his. Alright, for this mission to Otogakure, I need Rias, Hikari and Yami to stay back and guard the children. Yami, with Yosuke in wave, you are our head of security. Yami slammed his hand over his heart and bowed to his family. You can count on me. Everyone chuckled as Rias chirped, oh, no need to be a tight ass. We know you got this. Let us know what you need. Yami nodded and began planning. He would have to revamp the Senju compound security. Hikari bonked him on the head and brought him back to the present. This time, Kurama spoke up. Alright, family, Kami, that is a wonderful thing to say. Anyway, it is go time. We are going to eradicate our enemies, one after the other, until we are free of this burden to live our lives. Keep your guards up and the end is within sight. Everyone chuckled at the zealous words, but it was Anko that chirped, oh, everyone knows you just want your kits with Sunad. Just say it. Hell, we are all strong enough to pick up the slack if you don't want to wait. Sunad blushed fiercely and went straight to the bottle for a pull. Naruto laughed and clapped Kurama on the shoulder. Alright, Q, if you want it that bad then I agree with Anko. After the snake is dead, have at it. Samui giggled, hee, wouldn't it technically be you having at it? Naruto groaned, for a family that recently recovered from MPD, I thought we came to an understanding on this. Ino chirped, well, your alters are separate now, but yeah. In Kurama's case, it would be you. Naruto facepalmed, I can't win for losing with you all. The night continued at a friendly pace until everyone split up and went to bed. Naruto loved the fact that a wood clone stayed in the baby's room and was able to tend to them. He was grateful that the girls pumped and made it possible for him to feed his children, and it made nights far easier and less stressful. Thus, the Senju family woke up around 8 a.m. to the natural call of the sun. Naruto prepared a breakfast for the family before everyone divided up and went on their own way. At 6 p.m., the rookies, their senseis, Shisui, Sunad, Kurama, Chome, Kokuo, Anko, Temari and Samui met in the private room of Ichiraku's for a welcome back party and a mission assignment. The groups had seen each other throughout the training trip, so nothing was too weird, but it was still good to catch up. The drinks flowed freely and about $5,000 of food was eaten. After the fun stuff was out of the way, Naruto stood up and addressed the group. Alright, everyone, there is another reason we are all gathered here today. As everyone quieted down, Naruto continued. You are all assigned to Task Force Anaconda. This will be a joint operation between everyone here and an Anbu team led by Shisui Uchiha. This will be a long-term mission where we will infiltrate the land of rice paddies, destroy all of Orochimaru's bases and kill the snake traitor. Our secondary objective is recovery of Sasuke Uchiha. Our tertiary objective is to free any captives or test subjects. We will also collect any research or valuable intelligence. Sakura clasped her hands over her mouth and tears were brimming at her eyes. Kiba had a hardened look on his face as he put a soothing hand on her shoulder. The other rookies looked nervously around the table. Naruto basically just said that this little group was going to wage war against the Snake Sannin. It was Shikamaru that spoke up on behalf of the group. Ruto, we seem slightly undermanned to take on a nation. Why does something so troublesome with this small group? Naruto shrugged, look, we will be accompanied by Jiraiya and Sunad. We want to keep the group small, so the snake doesn't flee. I have a way to keep him trapped in the fight once we find him, but if he goes underground before we can even fight him, then this will all be for naught. Tenten breathed a sigh of relief. Woo. I thought you were saying that we should fight Orochimaru. Naruto laughed before growing serious. Look, you guys may have to fight delaying actions against the snake until I can flash there. We will all be close, and we will move methodically. Neji spoke up here. Naruto, I do not doubt your abilities. I heard about your battle with the Raikage, and I trust your power. However, I believe the problem will be locating the enemy. The land of rice paddies is large, and I must believe that Orochimaru's bases are well hidden and heavily defended. How will we locate the enemy? Naruto flashed into Golden Sage mode and shocked his fellow rookies and all of those that have never seen it. In this mode, Neji, I can sense everything. I can sense a Jonin-level chakra signature from over 100 miles away. However, Orochimaru's bases are likely screened off. Tell me, Neji, on a white sheet, it is easier to see a white dot or a black one. Neji shot a deadpan look at Naruto, who waited with a playful smirk on his face until Neji grunted and answered, black. Naruto's smirk transitioned to a smile. While I could probably sense through any protective seals they have up close, I can also sense the lack of the natural. Orochimaru uses underground bases, and I am in tune with the ground. Where I sense something unnatural, we will investigate. Where I sense shinobi, we hunt. Lee stood up and smashed a fist into his open palm. This is a most youthful plan. I will assist you, Naruto. I'm in, said Chuji. Let's get it, Kiba said, followed by a deep, bark, from Akamaru. Troublesome blonde dragging my lazy ass on a wild goose chase, moaned Shikamaru. Welcome back, shithead. I'm in. Let's go fry some sound s. I hope that creepying, boy-loving, ass-licking snake pedophile gets some ass-breaking, bodying, mountain-crushing treatment from Mama. Chirped the full-mouthed redhead, which drew massive sweat drops from the group. For Sasuke, whispered Sakura. I can't wait to melt them all. Cheered Temari in a cute way that really didn't fit the severe statement. Guy pumped a fist into the air at all of the youthful statements. Our flames of youth will explode all over Otogakure. What do you say, my old rival? Kakashi looked over the cover of a red book that was seen in the hands of women around the village. I'm sorry, Guy, I wasn't listening. Did you say something? While Guy groaned and raised a fist to Kakashi, Asuma asked, all right, Ruto, you know I'm in. Are Kurenai or Itachi coming? Shisui spoke up, nope. They are going to hold up in the village. Kurenai is too busy playing Hokage's assistant. Naruto coughed, all right guys. I wanted to get reacquainted with each of you. Tomorrow, we have CrossFit at 6 a.m. Advanced assessment test. After that, each of you will spar against my wood clones. Those that can't defeat a wood clone in 3 tries will go through remedial training. Kiba scoffed, oh, please, Naruto. I know you are strong, but we are more than enough to best a single clone. After CrossFit and 2 hours of sparring with a wood clone, Kiba laid on his back next to Shika and his face and body were bruised all over. Hinata walked over to Kiba and applied some much-needed healing to him. Kiba groaned. Holy Kami, how is it so hard to beat one wood clone? Hinata stifled a giggle. Well, Kiba, wood clones have 20% of the strength of the original. Naruto is most likely the strongest ninja alive right now. Think of it that way. Hinata held back that the clones were not using Kurama's chakra or sage mode. At least, not in Kiba's case. Asuma flopped down next to his student. Shika, you are always right. He is a terribly troublesome blonde after all. Shikamaru shook his head and smirked at Asuma. I am always right. Were you able to beat your wood clone? Asuma groaned as he rolled over. I beat the original clone after 10 minutes. Then another one came, and it was in sage mode. I spent the last hour and a half getting my ass kicked by that one. I mean, how can a wood clone throw out more jutsu than I can? Ino giggled this time as she came over to assist Hinata. She applied some healing jutsu to Asuma and told him. Naruto's clones can absorb natural energy on the go. In terms of raw chakra, he eclipses our whole study group put together. You should have seen his fight against the Raikage. Shino came and flopped down next to the group with his bugs buzzing agitatedly. I had to fight against a clone using Kurama's chakra. Luckily, my battle beetles were able to hold out and absorb the chakra. Thankfully, Naruto didn't want to harm my hive. Hinata laughed at that. Yeah, he loves your bugs. He calls them his precious experiments and, never mind. Hinata backed down at the sharp look from Ino. So, how did he punish you for eating his chakra? Taijutsu and a water bath, followed by a water prison, followed by a rinse cycle. Shino groaned. Ino stopped her healing and burst out in a full bout of laughter. A Naruto clone came over and deposited Kakashi, who was unconscious from chakra exhaustion. This guy used his Sharingan too much. I need to complete that seal for him. What seal? Shikamaru asked with interest. I imagine it like a chakra port. I just need to let him turn it on and off. Probably throw in a chakra reroute so that the excess chakra could be reabsorbed by the chakra system. The Naruto clone answered. Holy crap, do shithead and his butting copies all think like a Ring Nara? Tayuya asked, wincing while she took a seat in line for healing. The Naruto clone glared at Tayuya. What have we told you about gay insults? No more, Tayuya. No stand for your punishment. Tayuya groaned and started running with the clone chasing her with a water whip. Her screeches and curses echoed all over the training ground as one water whip after another cracked against her admittedly toned ass cheeks. You ing-why shithead. You are a carpet munching, ass worshipping, owl. Do you think she will ever learn that if she just shuts her mouth then the clone will stop? Chuji asked as he pulled out a piece of beef jerky. Temari walked up looking fresh after fighting successive clones for the last 2 hours. Did Naruto whoop all of you? The mirth in her tone was plain and obvious for all to see. She got a bunch of groans as an answer before the ground shook, and everyone looked over to see Naruto fighting against Tsunade. Holy shit. I mean, I train every flippin' day and I don't think I could ever do that. Ten groaned as she sat down next to the group. Ino put a comforting hand on her shoulder, and there is absolutely no shame in that. You can't use Senjutsu chakra and you don't have a Biju sealed in you. Think though, you have a higher level of Fuinjutsu than 99% of shinobi out there. Ten offered a weak smile as another quake hit the group. Yeah, think Naruto will test me and give me level 7. Just ask him and I am sure he will. Temari said as she looked fondly at the ongoing spar. Shikamaru winced as Tsunade landed a punch that hurtled Naruto through 3 trees. His eyes widened as Tsunade jumped nearly 50 feet in the air and came down with an axe kick that sent a 500-foot fissure tearing through the training ground. Kami, they don't hold back on one another, do they? Hinata burst out in a fit of giggles. This is them holding back. To put it in perspective, they are probably fighting at 10-15%, if that. This comment earned dropped jaws from the group. After Naruto finished his fun spar with Tsunade, the two fixed the training ground with a couple of earth jutsu and Naruto regrew the tree line before they joined the group. He gave them all feedback and approved them all to tag along with the mission. He informed them that this would be the training routine for the next week. This earned moans and groans from the group, but he told them to suck it up. That night, Naruto joined Hinata for dinner at the Hyuga compound. The dinner went well, and Naruto got the chance to catch up with Hanabi before he asked for an audience with Hinata and Hiyashi. Not long after that, the three were in Hiyashi's office and Naruto opened the conversation. Hiyashi, I hope things have gone well for you since our departure. Hiyashi's placid face answered his opening statement. Yes, we have recovered and the support you provided was appreciated. Our Bowman Corps is now fully trained and equipped. The chakra arrow testing is a success, and we are developing that skill alongside our Juken. I have heard that Hinata has made Jonin, which I am grateful to you and Tsunade for. Naruto waved the praise off. No, that was Hinata's hard work. She earned it and she is an ally I can trust my back to. She beat a sage clone of mine earlier today. Hiyashi ed an eyebrow, not knowing what that meant. To put it in perspective, a single sage clone demolished Kakashi Hatake for nearly 2 hours. Hiyashi's eyes widened slightly at this before he nodded in satisfaction. That is good to hear. Now, what can I help you with, Naruto? Naruto's face hardened and he met Hiyashi's look dead in the eye. Lord Hyuga, I request, on behalf of my brother Gaara, that you bless his relationship with Lady Hinata. Hiyashi's gaze hardened, and his lips turned down slightly. And why are you the one requesting this? Because I am the one you owe a favor to, and you know a small part of the truth about me. Hinata knows the whole truth. All I want is for my brother and a woman I cherish as a sister to be happy. He is in line to become the next Kazekage and he is a good man. Naruto spoke with a firm resolve and never broke eye contact with Hiashi. Hiashi sighed and rubbed his eyes. Hinata, is it your wish to marry Subaku no Gaara? Yes, father, Hinata replied confidently. And how would this work? I have a bloodline to protect, and he is set to become the Kage of a foreign village. Hiashi said wearily. Lord Hyuga, are you forgetting what we recently installed in the village? I encourage you to stop thinking along those traditional lines. The allies of the future will walk through each other's villages and there will be no borders in the future I see. If that is not enough, I will prepare a seal to make sure that Hinata's children cannot bear the Byakugan, which would be an absolute waste in my mind. The Subaku family carries the magnet release bloodline, and I could think of very few things more frightening on the battlefield than someone with a perfect defense and the ability to see through it. Naruto stood proudly next to Hinata and held her hand in his. This gave Hinata the courage to speak up. Father, Gaara is indeed a good man, and he will do anything for me. With the teleportation devices, we will be able to traverse freely between Suna and Konoha. Our children will also have dual citizenship. Think of it as a true branch of the Hyuga family since the two villages are full allies. Hiashi sighed loudly now, his decorum fully gone. Fine, I will entertain talks with the Kazekage and this boy. The rest will be clan business. Naruto, I trust that is acceptable. Naruto offered an understanding smile. Definitely. I also prepared this, in case you weren't willing to listen to reason. Are you interested? Hiashi ed an eyebrow and did his best to contain his excitement. I am listening. Naruto offered a marriage agreement to one of his children. It didn't specify. I do not believe in forcing marriages through. I do believe in giving love a chance and I hold love in my heart for your clan. This contract promises a 3-year engagement period between a Hyuga and one of my children. The marriage is contingent upon true love. There are clauses to ensure that the love is genuine with no outside encouragement from the two families. Hiashi didn't even have to think about it. This was basically first dibs at a potential heir with the Mokuton. Very well, Naruto Senju. I accept this marriage agreement on behalf of the Hyuga clan. Daughter, I hope you find happiness with Subaku no Gaara. Naruto and Hinata had to wipe away their sweat drops at the quick turnaround, but then Hinata pulled a ring out of her pocket and put it on. Father, Gaara proposed to me shortly following Naruto's wedding. I told him I accept conditional upon your approval. Thank you, father, I will honor the Hyuga clan in all that I do. Hiashi was growling lowly, then Naruto saw him look at the marriage agreement and it turned his scowl into a smile. Very well, please do that, daughter. Your sister will be a fitting clan head. I believe that concludes our business, Lord Senju. Naruto bowed and left Hiashi's office with Hinata. He swung an arm over her shoulder and whispered, Man, your dad is so predictable. Hinata giggled and leaned into Naruto, Did you really want to offer up one of your children? Naruto hip bumped Hinata, It is just a chance to court an official relationship for 3 years. If my kids find love, that is all the happiness I need. If they don't, then, oh well. Hinata closed her eyes and thanked Kami for such a good man as one of her best friends. You know, Ruto, I am glad you got this second chance. I couldn't imagine my life without you in it. Jiraiya returned to the village with scant information on Orochimaru. His normal activity was nowhere to be found and this made everyone nervous. As Task Force Anaconda was gathered to listen to his report, Jiraiya offered his opinion. Lord Hokage, I believe that the time for Orochimaru to take Sasuke over is closer than any of us wish for. We will need to move out and put pressure on him at the very least. Itachi frowned and his Sharingan activated at the thought of his brother dying to the snake. Then, I believe that we need to move fast and sharp. Jiraiya, I know you don't have much to go on, but if you were to guess, what area of the land of rice paddies would Orochimaru most likely be in? While Jiraiya was thinking seriously, Naruto spoke up, I think he will be in the northeast. He will want to be away from our border, and he had labs in Kiri in the past. I believe we should flash to Lightning Country and hit him from that side. Jiraiya thought for a while longer before nodding, the brat is right. If, and mind you it is an if, but if Orochimaru is still in Rice Country, then he would most likely be in that area. Itachi was in his thinking pose with his right hand up to his chin. All right, Ruto, contact the Raikage and ask for permission to travel through his lands. You may inform him, and only him, that we are hunting Orochimaru. Also, give him one of your tablets along with my number. I think he will appreciate that gift for allowing us passage. Samui smiled. I will get to see the Raikage earlier than I thought. I can also guide us through Lightning Country. Naruto threw an arm over Samui's shoulder. You ready for your first mission as a Konoha shinobi? And will do, Lord Hokage. As we get to Lightning Country's southern border, I will enter Sage mode. I will also dispatch some clones and summon an ally that has been craving some action. Ino giggled a bit before chirping, you know, I think Sue and Sasuke would actually get along. While everyone was confused, the Senju family continued their chat about Naruto's summons. Temari laughed at Ino's joke. Nah, Sue is actually cool. Don't compare him to some emo duckbutt. Hinata had a fist over her mouth to suppress a giggle. The Jura Ninja Core is super cool. Will you summon all of them? Nah, just Sue and his body doubles will be enough. I don't need them fighting our battles, I just want to cover more ground. Naruto answered. Jiraiya seemed interested and didn't want to be left out. Why is this Sue relevant? Because, grandfather, he can use body double much like I can use my shadow clones. He is a perfect scout, and he has shadow movement as well. Oh, you should bring Ranga over as well. It would be funny for him to meet Akamaru. Ino spoke up suddenly. Kiba seemed interested by this. Ranga. Why would Akamaru find him interesting? Temari smiled fondly at the thought of the fluffy Tempest Wolf. He is the leader of the dire wolf pack that is loyal to Lord Rimuru. He is also about 5 times as big as Akamaru. He can also summon storms. Samui added. The Raikage begged him for the right to summon him, but he said that he already made an exception to allow Naruto to summon him. Naruto shrugged. Hey, I built all of the dire wolves' custom houses. Much like the Inuzuka, the pack believes in loyalty. Itachi coughed to bring the conversation back to the mission. Okay, so it sounds like we will have a bunch of allies. What formation are you planning on moving in? Naruto stood straighter and became serious again. We will move in 3 groups. I will lead 1, Jiraiya 1 and Tsunade 1. I will be with Samui, Hinata, Shino, and Team 10. Tsunade will lead Team 9 and Team 7. Jiraiya will move with Temari, Shisui and the Anbu team. Each team will have a wood clone of Mind as a scout and backup. From Lightning Country, we will enter the northeastern corner of Oto. We will spread out about 30 miles apart. We will hit bases hard and fast. My wood clones will create clones to clean up any bases and evacuate any survivors. We will need to perform 3 up and downs to get all of Lightning Country because we will have a 120-mile spread with my Sage mode. Itachi was nodding along impressed, as was Jiraiya, but he had another question. And what is the plan to avoid alarming Orochimaru? How will you clear bases that quickly? Naruto's serious face turned into a feral smirk. We will bring them to the surface. Momo and I are prolific Earth users. We will use mobile Earth core to raise the bases above ground and surprise the hell out of them. Temari can use her steam wind, Momo can smash, I can break, and Jiraiya is strong enough. The important thing is to update your maps, keep in contact with the tablets and move quickly. Jiraiya pouted. Look, brat, I can still bring the heat. Don't underestimate me. Okay, Grandpa, was Naruto's only reply, but he had to fight super hard to hide his smile. Shisui spoke up this time. Okay, so we all move hard and fast. What is the plan for when we encounter Orochimaru? Tsunade punched a fist into her open palm. Draw him into a fight, allow Naruto to erect his barrier, then the snake gets smashed. Naruto and the rest of the group laughed at that, but Naruto elaborated. Look, Momo and Jiraiya have dibs on the snake. Before they show up and scare him off, you will summon me with a Hiraishin kunai, which everyone will carry. I will lock the snake in and then flash to bring Momo and or Jiraiya. Tsunade growled, it is not and or, I will be the one to finish the snake. Tayuya shivered, holy shit. I want to slap myself because I just felt sorry for the ass-loving snake pedophile. I mean, who the feels sorry for a like Orochimaru? Another round of laughs from the group. Itachi groaned, this group was taking this mission far too lightly. They could be up against an army of shinobi, and they are laughing. Alright, we will contact the Raikage tonight and plan on teleporting tomorrow. Everyone, this is serious and game faces will need to be on. Dismissed. After a passionate night of lovemaking and sweet talking, Naruto and his girls joined the others outside of the Konoha teleportation tower. Equipment checks were ongoing, and everyone was in a unique combat attire. Naruto wove seals into a new type of armor that everyone wore. The seals completely hid chakra signatures, that strengthened the fabric, had self-repair functions and were fireproof. Each person was also given an antidote kit since Orochimaru always loved his poisons. The outfits consisted of black and green combat vests with a camo pattern in them. Everyone wore hooded, long-sleeve combat shirts that were a matte black in color and seemed to be hard to look at directly. The combat pants were forest green and had a cargo pocket on each side. The wrist braces and shin guards were made of chakra metal, painted a matte black, and everyone was able to carry their weapons and supplies in their storage seals. The boots also had sound-suppressing seals on the soles, which allowed everyone to move silently. Alright everyone, behave yourselves while in Kumo and use the time to get your minds right. We will be traveling through Kumo for a whole day before crossing the border into Oto. Team leaders, status report. Naruto said as he stood in front of the three teams. Relax, brat, we are all good here. Jiraiya said, finding it extremely awkward to take orders from his grandson. Good to go, Bubba. Tsunade said with a thumbs up. Alright, we will teleport in 3 groups. I will remain behind to top off the chakra battery. Mama, ladies first, Naruto said. As he watched his best friends and family enter the teleporter, Naruto closed his eyes and offered a prayer to Kami. Up in her realm, the goddess was smiling down. She had put out the notice for a watch party and she was excited to see a good bit of action. Minato and Kushina exchanged knowing looks as they watched the goddess space out while going through the actions of her administrative duties. This had become more prevalent throughout the years and the chosen one's parents caught on after a while. Be safe, Sochi, whispered Kushina under her breath. Relax, Shina, our son has got this. Minato soothed his eternal spouse. Lady Kami, is there any way we could take a sneak peek into Orochimaru's lair? Kami distractedly clicked her fingers and sighed despondently as the screen changed away from Naruto. Otogakure, Hidden Lab 66. Orochimaru was sitting on his throne in his throne room that was poorly lit by chakra torches. The crackling of the torches often soothed the snake Sannin, and he enjoyed residing in dank, dark places. After altering his body so much and syncing with a part of the great white snake, Orochimaru noticed that he enjoyed the underground environment far more than the sun. His faithful buttbu, attendant, yes, his faithful attendant Kabuto stirred him from his musings. Lord Orochimaru, test subject 1402 was a failure. We attempted to graft his DNA with a combination of Sasuke's and Hashirama's. Kabuto said as he rose from his bow and pushed up his glasses. Orochimaru hissed, failure was expected in his line of work, but the gene splicing had hit a roadblock recently and it was dissatisfying. Very well, on to the next one. Tell me, Kabuto, how is my next vessel doing? Kabuto smirked devilishly. Well, Lord Orochimaru, the loyalty seal has completely taken effect. His stage 2 curse mark is fully integrated, and he uses it to train daily. The steroids have taken effect and strengthened his muscles and body. Project Fake Friend was successful and his Mangekyo Sharingan was awakened 3 months ago, and it is stable. We project he will be fully ready for your greatness in less than a month. Orochimaru hissed in pleasure and wrung his hands together. Very good. While this body has not fully rejected me yet, it will happen soon. Any word on the Akatsuki or Konoha? Kabuto pushed up his glasses and the smirk fell from his face. Akatsuki has fully taken over Earth Country. They are working hand in hand with Rain Country, and they are mobilizing. One of our bases was destroyed by Hisashi Hyuga and Kisame Hoshigaki last week. We do not know what they are looking for, but it seems to be an item, not you. Orochimaru nodded slimily, yes, their beloved ring. I still cannot fathom how it enabled astral teleportation. I do not wish to give it up yet. Kabuto bowed, very well, my lord. As far as Konoha, the Senju family will be returning there soon. Their little trip around the world strengthened Suna, Kiri, Kumo and Wave. We have been unable to infiltrate any of those nations. We recently lost our spy in Konoha and the member we had on the council is no longer able to provide information. Orochimaru chuckled evilly. Ah, yes, Homura, that old goat. It was entertaining to use him. His hatred for young Naruto was most enjoyable to toy with. What of the Senju family and their children? Kabuto sighed, they are more protected than anything. We cannot begin to dissect the seals protecting their compounds. As far as we know, the boy, Hashi, will be in Konoha with the Senju family. According to rumors, Tsunade, Naruto, Yosuke, Yami and Kurama Senju are all high A to SS rank. The spouses, Samui, Temari and Ino are all rumored to be strong as well. It is unknown how they will integrate into Konoha's forces, but we may be able to isolate one on a mission. Orochimaru hissed in anger. That intelligence leaves me wanting. Kabuto. Kabuto bowed. My apologies, Lord Orochimaru, their travels make it difficult to glean information. If rumors are to be believed, Naruto used one of the Lord First's most powerful jutsus. The rumors claim it destroyed a mountain in Kumo with a single punch. Orochimaru seemed pensive. He heard stories of Hashirama's jutsus, but it always seemed like puffed-up myths. Very well. We know to avoid direct combat with the Senju boy. Keep an eye open for an opportunity to get the child. Border of Kumo and Oto, Day 1 of Project Snake Hunt. The travel to the Kumo border went smoothly. It helped that Naruto and Samui were known all throughout Lightning Country and any patrols they encountered instantly recognized them and the Sannin. The group rested overnight in the foothills of the mountains overnight and it was a fairly restless night's sleep. The nerves were starting to settle in as the gravity of the situation settled upon their shoulders. They were planning on walking into a foreign country with an unknown number of shinobi and samurai. That alone would normally be enough to set someone on edge. Then, they added that they were going to be taking out horror houses that Orochimaru called labs. Terrifying projections of the monstrosities they may or may not encounter filled their minds and kept them from their sleep. All in all, everyone that wasn't a Senju rolled around in their sleeping bags as sleep evaded them on the first night. In Naruto's tent, he remained awake looking at the roof of the tent as his 3 wives claimed his arms and chest. He loved his Fuinjutsu tent and the king-sized bed that he kept sealed in it. He was working with Kurama to review memories, plot out their routes and review contingency plans. He had faith in his friends, but unlike him, they weren't Energizer bunnies. They would need to rest and recover within enemy territory. He frowned as the concern for his friends weighed heavily upon his heart. Within the seal, Kurama and Chome felt the nervous anticipation and they marveled as a lightning storm gave them an impromptu light show in the seal. Kurama sighed before opening the mental connection. Relax, partner. We will keep your mates and family safe. Naruto closed his eyes and dove into the seal since he wasn't going to sleep anyway. I know, Q, but there is only so much we can do. We know we are strong, but are they strong enough to survive this? Chome was listening and feeling everything. She spoke next. Ruto, in the short time I have dwelled in you, I have come to believe in you. Believe in yourself and your mates. My sister is right, Ruto. Believe in yourself, believe in us and we will succeed. Kurama added before shrinking and rubbing his muzzle against Naruto's cheek. Naruto pet his best friend on his snout and snuggled into his warm aura. Thanks Kurama. I love you. When we are done with this, I am making Mama take a back seat so you can start your family. Kurama chuckled and Chome blushed. Kurama returned Naruto's affectionate words. I love you like my own, Ruto. If my kids turn out just like you, then I would be the happiest kitsune in any world. Chome watched on with tears spilling from her bug eyes. She wanted nothing more than to experience that feeling with a partner. It was strange, for centuries all she wanted was to be left well enough alone. She wanted to watch over her domain and care for the insects of the planet. After less than a year with this human child, all she wanted was to experience the bond she felt between Naruto and Kurama. The only question for her was could she find that bond within Naruto, or would she need to go to another? As Naruto woke up at first light, he prepared a breakfast for his task force. He greeted Shisui who pulled the final watch and unsealed everything he needed to make a good breakfast. It was the least he could do for his team that was willingly following him into the belly of the beast. As he formed clones to prepare the breakfast, he wanted to get his mind right through a round of meditation. He walked away from his group and took up a meditative lotus position to center himself and prepare for the future endeavors. He fell right into his natural place in the world, and he smiled internally as the natural energy greeted him playfully. The energy of the wind was flippant, playful, strong and endless. It countered so uniquely with the rigid strength, enduring energy and proud nature of the earth. The two seamlessly integrated with each other within his body, and he enjoyed 10 minutes of internal reflection before letting his chakra spread to the surrounding lands. Naruto's eyes snapped open, and he shook his head and chuckled before lifting his head to the heavens and whispering a thank you. He pushed the gathered senjutsu chakra into an amped-up wooden clone, unsealed a scroll, wrote a letter and gave the scroll to his clone. No words were needed before the clone dashed off in the opposite direction of Oto. Naruto watched it go and returned to the camp just in time to join everyone for breakfast. After breakfast, the group did one more round of final checks, tested the tablet communications, and Naruto passed out a Hiraishin kunai to each member of the task force. Naruto took the center route with Samui, Hinata, Shino and Team 10. On his left, taking the eastern border route, was Jiraiya with Temari, Shisui and Anbu Team Ro. On the right, moving more toward the center of the country, was Tsunade and Anko along with Teams 9 and 7. With a final wave, they moved out at high speeds and began the hunt. Naruto's plan and methods proved effective after 3 hours into the incursion of the Land of Rice. The first team to sense out a base was Jiraiya's team. The team was moving with Sue, and one of the body doubles knelt in front of Naruto's wood clone before speaking. The Konoha teams came to a halt to listen. Lord Naruto, the location you sensed was indeed a base of Orochimaru. I sent body doubles to infiltrate and they confirmed 80 to 100 enemy shinobi with over 100 captives. The Naruto clone scratched the back of its neck sheepishly. Sue, what have I told you about the Lord? Nonsense. Anyway, this will provide our first test. Jiraiya, how do you wish to proceed? Jiraiya thought for a bit. Are you enough to really raise the base out of the ground? The Naruto clone shrugged. Most likely. Naruto really amped us up and we even have Kurama's chakra. What about the prisoners? Temari asked. The clone answered once more. I should be able to sense them out and make sure they aren't harmed. Until we evacuate them, no wide-scale jutsu. Jiraiya was nodding and smashed his fists together. Okay, hard and fast with no survivors. We cannot let Orochimaru know about this on our first day in the country. Everyone nodded and Sue led the group to the location. After a quick check with his body doubles that had infiltrated the base, Sue confirmed that the enemy guards near the prisoners were neutralized. Naruto sensed the captives, and he encased that room in a hardened earth chakra before performing his next jutsu. The clone gathered a crap load of natural energy and weaved through hand signs with its eyes closed. The clone placed its hands on the ground and called out, Earth style, Earthen Mobile Core. The group watched in amazement as the underground base appeared on a massive column of earth that now hovered nearly 4 stories in the air. The bottom level, with the test chamber and captives, was now on ground level and Team Ro immediately began evacuating the captives out of the area. They were supremely confused, and a couple were unable to move on their own until Naruto clones appeared and disappeared in leaf shunshuns. While the evacuation was ongoing, many Oto shinobi were peering over the edges of the base and many shouts of confusion were heard. The shouts slowly died down as a slide made of pink crystals appeared from the ledge that used to be the 3rd sublevel, and a blue-haired kunoiki led about 20 shinobi out and more were rallying to her side. As she reached ground level, the all clear was given for the captives and a barrier was erected that completely surrounded the massive earthen construct. What the air you doing here, Konoha nin? The blue-haired kunoiki asked as she formed crystalline kunai in her hands. Jiraiya stepped forward and spoke, stand down and surrender or die. Those are your only 2 choices, Otogakure shinobi. The blue-haired woman spoke, I am Gurren, Lord Orochimaru's most faithful follower. There is no way I would submit to Konoha dogs. At that moment, a shinobi ran up to Gurren and whispered something in her ear, which made her eyes widen and a look of shock fixed itself upon her face. Jiraiya sighed and nodded to Temari, who had already unsealed her new and improved battle fan. Naruto had it made of chakra metal and the fabric of the fan was made from a chakra-conducting weave. Rather than her old 3 moons, Temari had 5 sickles and each sickle had a special seal in it. The moons were an auburn red with golden edging, in honor of her lover. Temari smirked devilishly as she opened up all 5 sickles, gathered an insane amount of chakra and scared the shit out of her team. The members of Jiraiya's team stood well behind Temari since they knew what was coming. It was something that made them feel sorry for the enemy shinobi, even if they were Oto's. Temari spun in an entrancing dance that shaped her chakra and the fan glowed light blue with steam-release chakra. Gurren didn't wait to see what was happening next. She ordered an attack on the enemy shinobi and a volley of kunai and shuriken raced ahead of charging shinobi. Temari was now spinning rapidly before she turned her fan perpendicular to the ground and called out, "Steam release, sickle weasel steam storm." The results of Temari's jutsu were absolutely devastating. After a minute, the steam cleared out and a gruesome sight met Jiraiya's team. They were no longer rookies, but anyone looking at corpses with the skin sloshing off would have a hard time stomaching it. Of the 40 or so shinobi that were outside the base, only 3 managed to survive the steam storm and only barely so. Even the Anbu shifted uncomfortably as the steam cleared. It wasn't every day that they watched a teenage girl slaughter trained shinobi with such ease. Gurren was running short on air inside of her crystal prison. She used the technique on herself to protect herself from the steam storm and she had to channel a sizable amount of her chakra into reinforcing the crystalline walls that protected her. Even so, she was nearly cooked and would have been had the steam storm ceased a minute later. As her pink crystals disintegrated, she looked around and saw most of her backup was in rough shape. She sucked her teeth and activated the cursed seal Lord Orochimaru had given her. She was going to need it if she stood any chance against Jiraiya and his backup. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.